Buddy, I'm here. Let me get my camera right. I hit the go live button and it didn't go live. That is why I'm doing it 2 minutes early and getting on to make sure everything is going well. So I've decided that I'm going to get on a little early and hey, Nancy, and let people get on. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the lighter side of life right this second before we start in a few minutes. I took my dogs for a walk and I saw the most beautiful thing. First of all, I saw the sunshine in Southern California. It has been raining, so that was glorious. But what I saw was this man and this woman. They were probably about 40, walking with their two kids down the street. Their daughter was about 3 years old. She had this cute little dress and she was jumping up and down. And then they had a son about 6 years old that was kind of just jumping on his dad. And I thought, that's happening because those parents are home. Because of the virus, they have to work from home, and I'm walking my dogs and they're walking their children. Those children were so happy. The family was so happy. I thought, what such a beautiful moment. It was like that photograph or that Hallmark moment. We can bring ourselves closer. We can actually, we might be isolated from our friends and a lot of our family members, but we don't have to be isolated in our heart. There was so much love in what I saw. So I just want to say it's important that we remember that. So every day during the weekdays, I am going to do a Facebook Live, and I am going to help us all learn how to train our mind and open our heart, even in these challenging situations. I decided that I'm going to make my talks 20 minutes long. That way they're just not too long. And if you miss them, know they're recorded and they'll be on Stress Shifter. I'm starting a YouTube channel and I'll also get them up there. Now let's everyone say hi to Buster. Hey, Buster. How are you doing? I think he's doing well. I have a shout out. I'm wearing my UC Santa Barbara sweatshirt. My son is a junior there, and all the universities are closing. He's so devastated. It really affects us all. He has to do online courses all the way to the end of the year. I have friends that are flying all over the country. I guess they're not flying, they're driving all over the country to pick up their freshmen and their seniors and their juniors from university, and everyone's coming home. And yeah, this is sad that it's happening, but we know it's for the best. It's for the best of the health of all the people we know, especially our elderly. And it's the best for not just you, it's the best for the world. For us to be healthy is the gift we can give everyone else. So remember that when we're doing our isolation and when we have to do these online communications and stuff, we're doing it to help everybody. People are like, what can I do? And I'm like, what you can do is stay kind, be kind, keep yourself healthy, and if for some reason you're not healthy, then you just don't spread it. Just stay home. Anyway, so what we've been doing is learning how to train our mind to stay focused and stay calm and stay kind. And remember, we talked about the amygdala. Remember, we all have that. We get that fight, flight, freeze response. It's automatically going to go off when we hear all this bad news, or if you watch the stock market, it's totally normal that all of a sudden you lose your breath a little bit and you're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. That's your amygdala protecting you. We're calling it Amy, and it goes off. But we need to bring ourselves back into that calm state, that state where we can really enjoy this moment, because this is the only moment we have. Let's not hope and wish for tomorrow to be great. Let's say at this moment, we can bring at least a little bit of peace and a little bit of greatness into ourselves right now. Right now. So we talked about how did you do that? You take the breath in, hold it, and then release longer than you bring in. Can you feel that release down? You are totally activating your parasympathetic nervous system and you're allowing your body to relax. Now, yesterday, usually if you missed it, you can go back and see my last recordings. We talked about the power of laughter, and it was part of our homework. Did anyone go out and actually find something to laugh at? I have a funny story. Now, it's the lighter side of life. It's not that funny, but it's a little funny. I had a friend, and she called me up and she goes, "You have to hear what happened last night." My mom, she's 85 years old, and she promised us that she would never drive at night. So I went to check on her yesterday, and she wasn't there. She wasn't there. She goes, "Lindsay, I totally panicked. I didn't know it. The car wasn't there. It was late at night. Where would my 85 mom be?" Well, guess what? She found her. She has a new boyfriend who's 89. She drove over to her 89-year-old boyfriend's house to have dinner. Ah, these 80-year-olds, they're like teenagers. She laughed. She said, "We've got to have better rules for our 80-year-olds. So maybe that is something we need to do. Have conversations with people. What are the rules that we need to handle, not only during this crisis, but at all the times? Those 80-year-olds. Anyway, so we have to laugh. When she told me that story, I know it's a little bit of the lighter side of a sadder situation, but if you don't laugh, then what happens is you can get that worry and that anxiety, and that actually puts adrenaline, and it puts the negative adrenaline and cortisol, I couldn't remember the word, in your body. And that makes your immune system go down. So it wasn't necessarily a laughter situation, but if you laugh at some of these things, then what you're doing is you're actually putting endorphins and dopamine. And endorphins help you resist pain. They build up your immune system. Dopamine helps you feel better. So sometimes we just have to laugh instead of cry. It is the best medicine. Don't laugh at other people, but sometimes we just have to find the funnier side of a bad situation, and that's a good example. So make sure that's what you're doing. So we talked about the power of laughter. Now, the other thing we talked about is, remember, right speech, because that really brings us back into a calm state. So when you're about to speak, or when you're speaking to yourself, remember, is it true and kind? What you're saying to yourself is true and kind? Does it have purpose and meaning? Is it really meaningful? Or are you just talking to talk? And is it at the right time? Is it at the right time? You don't have to say everything you're thinking all the time, even if it's true, even if it's important. Is it the right time for that person to hear it? Is it the right time for you to hear it? Is it the right time for you to communicate? If you can do right speech to yourself and others, I will tell you, you will be a lot calmer, and everyone around you will be a lot calmer, because they know that you're not going to all of a sudden trigger them. That is so powerful. Absolutely so powerful. Now, two other tools we talked about yesterday, so important. You go, "Oh my God, Lindsay, but I am really stressed out. I can't handle this. I don't know what to do." Remember the two important questions we talked about? Remember these. What would you tell your best friend to do? What would you tell your best friend to do? If you don't know what to do, then pretend that your friend has that exact same problem. And then say, what would you say to them? Okay? You probably wouldn't beat them up. You wouldn't tell them doom and gloom. You would say, "You've made it before." We have had lots and lots of problems. We've had health scares. We have had job changes. We've had divorces. Lots of things have happened in your life, and you survived that. You think you're not going to be able to survive staying home? You can do it. Even you extroverts can do it. You can. I know you can. I can. What's the other question? What would someone that you find so important to you, maybe it's a spiritual figure or a good friend, what would they tell you? So you're stuck in a situation, and I said yesterday, what would my dad say to me? You know, he really is, and what it does is it gives you some space, gives you some space to observe. These are very powerful. So today, you ready for our new tip? Here's our new tip. Let's see. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin says just listening to me releases a lot of stress. I want you to know that I've gotten a lot of feedback before I tell you the tip. I've gotten from people from India, Spain, Italy. I just think it's so cool. England, all over the world. Yesterday's, I want you all to know how much we're in this together. Yesterday's talk has reached 1,000 people viewing it. Not just going through their Facebook feed, 1,000 people have viewed it. And Monday's talk, I think it said 1.5 thousand people have viewed it. We're all human beings everywhere. Everywhere we want to be. I'm in Southern California. I have 4 kids. One's in college. 2 are unemployed. We all have this. We're all in it together. My husband's in his 60s. I'm in my 50s. My parents are in their 70s. My mother-in-law's in her 80s. We're all in this together. Please know that. You're not alone. You're not alone. All right, so what's today's tip? Well, who out there likes to have snacks? Yeah, I love snacks. Comfort food, right? Now you be very careful and mindfully eat your comfort food. I understand if you have popcorn, make sure you put it in a bowl so you don't eat the whole bag in one sitting. But that's not the kind of snack I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about a snack for the mind. Now, I told you yesterday I'm going to tell you one good thing to read every day, something new. You can get this, see this on the internet. There's great articles. Let me get it this way. The Mindful magazine. It has so many wonderful articles, positive things, how to deal with stress, how to be healthier, how to meditate, and it's on the internet, Mindful magazine. Love it, love it. So look into this, everybody. Everyone all over the world, read Mindful magazine. In the Mindful magazine, and I'm going to post this on the Stress Shifter page after my talk today. They had an article on S.N.A.C.K, S-N-A-C-K, snack for the mind. And that's going to be our tip today. S, let's think about it. S means stop. Stop. We're going to snack. If you feel your anxiety going up, if you feel like you don't know what to do, if you're feeling depressed, if you just got bad news, if you have a chronic stomach ache, that could really indicate that you're actually stressed, not sick. So stop. Be aware of how you're feeling. Stop. Be aware of what you're thinking. I want to tell you another real quick story about that, is that I had a good friend, and she was telling me that she thought she had the coronavirus. She's like, I'm sure I have it. I'm really sick and I don't feel well. And she's giving me all these symptoms. And I said, well, I'm not a doctor. For sure, I'm not a doctor. But she had a stuffy nose, no fever. She did have a cough. Her stomach hurt a little bit. I said, it sounds more like you have a cold to me, but I'm not a doctor. So anyway, she went online. She felt sicker and sicker. She went online. She got to a doctor online because they wouldn't see her. She gave them all her symptoms, the stuffy nose, the no fever and everything. And he said, sounds like you have a cold. And she's like, really? Are you sure? And he goes, it sounds like you haven't been exposed. You haven't been in the area. You've been inside. And it sounds like you have a cold. The stress of what she was feeling, the worry she was feeling because she was sick, was so much that it was actually causing all her symptoms from her cold to be worse. The next day, you know what? She felt a ton better. 2 days later, she was all better. So I only tell you that story is because some of us have allergies and colds and things like that. Stop. When you have those symptoms, stop and try to at least release the stress that you're having from them, because stress makes, no matter what you're feeling, it's going to magnify it. So if you're feeling sick, you're feeling tense, stop. S. Then N, is the notice part, SN. Stop and notice what you're feeling. Now the A part is accept it. I know that's hard for people to understand, but you don't want to live in denial. You don't want to make it bigger and tell yourself stories that don't exist. You want to accept in the present moment what's going on. So if you're not feeling well, stop, notice, and then really accept it. Say, okay, my nose is all stuffed up, you know? Or how about the stress of my son coming home and doing classes in our house all year, for the rest of the semester? I'm going to stop. I'm going to notice how I feel about it. I'm happy for him to come home, but I also am upset and I wish that wasn't happening. And, you know, I wish he could have a different experience and all that stuff. And then I need to stop that and accept that he's coming home, and let's make the best of it. Let's accept what it is. Let's stop saying, I wish it was different. If you keep thinking you want to wish it is different, you're going to cause stress. If you're going to cause stress, then you have all that negative hormones going through you and you bring down your immune system. But when you can accept something and just live with it and say, that is what's happening. The virus is here. I'm going to accept it. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to stop. I'm going to notice. I'm going to accept. And then instead of go to worry, I'm going to be curious. That's what I love about S.N.A.C.K, because it has the C for curious. Let's be curious during this time. Let's be curious instead of worried and upset. Let's think about all the different alternatives we can do. Let's be curious to learn. Let's be curious to tame Amy. Let's try these new things out. And then K, this is why I love S.N.A.C.K too, kindness. Let's be kind. When in doubt and you don't know what to do, be kind. Right speech. If you're about to talk, if it's not kind, at least if the intentions are not kind, don't say it. If you're talking to yourself and you're not being kind, stop talking to yourself that way. Be kind. All we got is the present moment, so let's hold it with kindness. Let's definitely hold it with kindness. So I want to end this and remind everyone to do their homework. One, from Monday, we said, make sure that you do something that has meaning every day. It could be just a quick little note to somebody, something kind to a neighbor, could be a telephone call. Maybe purpose and meaning something is watching this and practicing some of these skills, learning to tame our mind right now. We are not going to waste our time. We are going to learn and how to be better and kinder and nicer together right now. The second thing I asked you all to do is find something funny to do. Every single day, I want you to have a little laugh. If you can have more than a little, then have a lot. That is going to release those endorphins and those dopamine, you know? To all our college kids, and all the little kids, let's play with them like children. Let's get on the floor and do blocks. Let's laugh. Let's remember what it was like to just cook cookies and hold hands and smile. And the last thing for today's homework, so we have laughter and doing meaning, is I want everyone to practice 3 breaths every day when they wake up. 3 conscious breaths. And so what's a conscious breath? Conscious breath is aware that you're breathing, to actually feel your breath come in. We're going to practice learning how to calm ourselves down no matter where you are. 3 conscious breaths. So you breathe in to the count of 3, hold, pause for the count of 3, really feel it, and then release for the count of 5. Every morning I want us to do that, and then be grateful that we can do that. So let's do that together right now. All you want to do is make sure that you have your lungs that are open, not tense, shoulders not up. Let your shoulders drop, let your head be up, put a slight smile on your face, and then say to yourself, my 3 conscious breaths. I'm going to breathe in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just being able to do that, that is mindful meditation. You are doing it. At any time you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, lonely, depressed, take 3 conscious breaths. So remember, stop, notice what you're feeling, accept the situation, be curious and kind, S.N.A.C.K, and take your 3 conscious breaths and move into a new direction. You have the choice to be happy or peaceful or calm or balanced right now. The choice is yours. You might not be happy on what's going on in the world. I got it. I'm not either. But that doesn't mean that I have to be unhappy inside myself. And if I can keep myself calm and balanced, put a slight smile on, maybe I need to watch a TV show that makes me happy and smile. Maybe I need to read a book or practice more meditation, go to Insight Timer, watch that. Whatever it is, do it. You have control of your own mind. So every day we're going to work on this. Today we're going to remember S.N.A.C.K. Remember, stop, notice, accept, be curious, and always be kind. Remember to go to stressshifter.com. I have other videos. I'm going to be making a YouTube channel, and I'll tell you more about that as it comes up. Please message me anytime you want on Stress Shifter, and I can answer you guys back. That would be great. If you know something a good joke or something light and good that's happened in the situation, please message me. I'd like to call you and say it on here. Please share this with everyone. We are in this together. We're in it with our college kids. We're in it with our parents. We're in it with our grandparents. We're in it with the little kids. We support you all. Thank you, health workers everywhere. Remember, we have the Stress Shifter online course that actually teaches you how to reduce your stress. You can do it at your own time. So go to stressshifter.com to learn more about that. And I want to thank you, everyone. Kindness and hearts to you all. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock with a new tip on how to stay centered, how to stay calm, and how to have peace and love, and that we can share it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.